What's up, everyone? It's Karthik with MoneyVest. So we've got a very important week in front of us because we've got NVDA earnings that are coming out. It's a very economic calendar light week, but we do have earnings that are going to be super important for the market after the inflation numbers have already been out, as well as Jerome Powell's speech and the FOMC meeting has also already taken place. That was exactly 10 days ago, and we already learned that the Federal Reserve is cutting interest rates by another 25 basis points, and the next meeting is going to be in just about 30 days, and we're going to get these summary of economic projections as well. So last week was, of course, a down week, as we know that the S&P 500 in the last 1 week was down a little bit over 2%. So there was a pretty significant selling pressure. On Friday, we were down a little bit over $700 billion. So you can see that on Friday, market concentration, over $700 billion sell-off across the board. Most of that sell-off came from Magnificent Seven companies, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Google, collectively losing well over $416 billion. Thanks to Tesla, that kind of softened the blow a little bit, up $33 billion, was up over 3%. On Friday, then of course Palantir being the big name here, up over $16 billion, up over 11% after being included in the NASDAQ. So we're going to cover everything that's coming up for the upcoming week, as well as the technical analysis on Magnificent Seven stocks, including for Palantir and SoFi. As always, make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that. And also do check out the links down below if you're interested in joining and locking this price in for life, because eventually, as we add more features for the MoneyVest website, the price is going to go up. So you can join pretty much with the 16% annual discount, get 2 free months, and of course get access to all the trade alerts, options alerts, weekly updates, MoneyVest website, Discord channel. Everything's going to be included. You can pretty much read that, and of course come over here, unlock these videos, MoneyVest index values, everything's going to be available. So links going to be down below. Would love to have you on board. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer all questions that you have. So coming over to the market calendar first, if you take a look at next week, we do have some pretty heavy hitters. Got companies like Walmart reporting their numbers on Tuesday before the bell, $169 billion of revenue with just over 53 cents in earnings per share. It's going to be a little bit more retail-oriented week because we do have Lowe's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Target, we got TJX, and Walmart. So these are all big retail names that people go to shopping for groceries and other products. And this is, again, really going to give us a little bit more insight into the strength of the U.S. economy and the strength of the consumer demand here. Burlington is also reporting. That's going to be Tuesday after the bell. And some other heavy hitters in the software space, cybersecurity, we've got Palo Alto Network, we got Snowflake, and we got Intuit, all reporting in the same week. And then, of course, the biggest company in the world and the biggest name in the market right now, NVIDIA, is also scheduled for Wednesday, November 20th. Revenue is expected at just over $33 billion with EPS at just over 76 cents per share. So this right here is the earnings calendar, which you can access on the MoneyVest website. You can pretty much go forward few weeks and also go back a few weeks. You can pretty much take a look at the results of all the companies that just reported in the past week here. But NVIDIA is going to be the big name. Palo Alto Network, in my opinion, is also going to be very important. $2.16 billion in revenue expectations with about $1.51. And of course, I know there's a lot of interest in Snowflake as well. Intuit at $3.2 billion, $2.40 in earnings per share. And don't forget, a lot of retail companies like Lowe's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Target, TJX, and Walmart all reporting in the same week. Now, we don't have a lot of economic calendar items. So if you come over to the economic calendar here, if you remove for some of the low and medium impact items, we only have building permits that are coming out. From a medium impact standpoint, again, there's not a lot that's on the calendar here. Of course, we got the initial jobless claims, home sales, crude oil inventories, you got S&P global PMI manufacturing numbers. Those might be a little bit more insightful for us as well. Redbook is coming out. We got the 3-month bill auction, 6-month bill auction. We got the mortgage rates repricing, jobless claims, 4-week averages, Philly Fed business conditions, Michigan 5-year inflation expectations. That might be a little bit more on the important side. But that is going to be it. That's going to be the economic calendar for us that we're not really super heavy on for this upcoming week. Of course, as the weeks go on, the next week is the lighter week, and the week after that, of course, is Thanksgiving. And of course, then we go into December once again with the unemployment, inflation numbers, as well as the Fed meeting with the summary of economic projections as well. If you take a look at the market snapshot, so it's a very nice shift in the overall market. As I've discussed, this was a very healthy pullback which was needed. So you can see that most all Magnificent Seven companies, pretty much everything is now in a pullback or a correction. Everything is down more than 5% from their all-time highs. Tesla's in a bear market, down 22% from their all-time highs. You got Netflix, Oracle, the only two companies that are still operating within a dip. That is to say that they're still well within 5% of their all-time highs. Everything else, you can see how the markets have shifted very quickly as we have seen the selling pressure last week. As I said, the S&P was down over 2%, and the NASDAQ was actually down a little bit over 3%. So this was a pretty brutal week here that we just witnessed. So we'll see if the buyers actually do step in the coming week here, considering the Money Invest Index is also coming down to 3.57. However, we're not low enough. 3.5 is still pretty optimistic. So the moment this dips below 3.5 is when we're going to be in a neutral zone. And I prefer for the Money Invest Index to be below 3 so that it gets down to uncertainty, fear, or even panic for me to be deploying a lot of capital and be a lot more aggressive. So that's going to be the idea behind that. And again, coming over to the technical analysis on a lot of these companies, starting with Apple. And what I've really done is that I've essentially put down some ranges for everyone to watch. Instead of pinpointing exact levels, it's really going to be a little bit of an understanding of where the support and the resistance is from a perspective of demand and supply. So Apple, you'll notice a lot of consolidation sideways here. We've got a huge resistance, or an area of supply you can call it, at 237, and a reasonable support here at 214, and a much stronger area of demand in the low 200s. With Amazon here, also with a very nice consistent uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. As you can see, got a very nice support and an area of demand here in the low 200s as well, as low as 190s, down to a much stronger area of demand and support in the 140s for Amazon as well. Coming over to Tesla, and Tesla here also, I've got a separate video coming out on Tesla very soon, but this right here is the overall range within which it's been trading, right? So for the most of the times, I mean, for the last 3 years, it's really been trading inside this range here. Of course, it's flirted down in the low 100s, but getting rejected in the 400s, trading very much in the 150s and 250s. Like, that's really been where Tesla's been trading until recently. It broke out of this $280, $275 resistance and got up to as much as 350s, right? That was a huge target that we achieved for Tesla in over 2 years, and now it's coming back down. It was very likely for us to see a little bit of a healthy pullback considering how overbought the stock was. So this is a very normal, very healthy pullback, and you can see that on Friday there were some buyers stepped in. Why? Because this right here inside this green rectangle is where the support is. This is where the demand is now starting to show up once again, because this was a previous resistance for Tesla. As you can see right there, if I extend that line out, that's the support level that it's validating right now. So really what we want to see for Tesla next week is if there's any type of momentum that comes in, we can get kind of ready for this next rally higher, and 360 is going to be that resistance all the way up to as much as 380, and of course the all-time high at 414, 415 for Tesla. So it's a little bit of a cool off period for Tesla right now after the big burst of momentum that it carried us to over 350s. So a nice little healthy correction is very, very normal. Now going over to the big star of the show, which is going to be NVDA. NVIDIA is reporting next week, and I will be most likely rolling my options on NVIDIA, kind of increasing my capital gain. So again, if you want to get access to all the trade alerts and find out exactly what I'm doing in the options portfolio, link's going to be down below for our Patreon. You can join us and of course get access to the weekly updates that I send out on Patreon. These are members only videos, as well as all the trade alerts that I send out on Discord. So I've got Tesla and NVIDIA options in my options portfolio, and I will most likely be rolling them out because they both expire in February of 25. So I will be rolling them out a little bit further so I can unlock some more capital gain for these companies considering how much they've already moved up. So for NVIDIA, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. Again, RSI MACD was near overbought levels, and support level is going to be right about here at 133, and that's the level where we have seen some resistance in the past for NVIDIA, which is going to turn into a support, and a much stronger area of demand here is going to be sitting right about there in the low 100. So 104, 105 is going to be a much stronger area of support there. Coming over to Google, Microsoft here, and Meta, and Microsoft also just really consolidating sideways. It's actually Google here consolidating sideways, getting rejected at 183. This right here was a little bit of a support that we're now starting to break down of, and the next support, as I mentioned in the Discord as well, is going to be inside this green rectangle sitting roughly in the 160s. So mid 160s, 165 to as much as 170s is where Google's support is going to be. Coming over to Microsoft, a lot of consolidation sideways as well. Huge resistance right there and a massive area of support inside this green rectangle, inside this area of demand in the low 400s for Microsoft. So really just it's been a range bound stock here for a really long time. As you can see that it's just been trading in this level for quite a few times. Of course, he had a little bit of a breakout to all-time highs, then we're back down to trading within that range. And finally, we come over to Meta platforms. Before we jump into Palantir, Meta also did decline quite a bit. You can see that resistance here tagging up to that 600 level, getting rejected and then selling right back off. And we got a huge support sitting right here. So that is going to be that next level to keep in mind for Meta in the 540s. That was a level where we got rejected here a couple times, down to as low as this higher low. That's going to be sitting roughly in the low 500s for Meta as well, and also aligned with this previous support right about there. So those right there are going to be some levels to keep in mind. Now coming over to the big star, which is Palantir. Where do I even start? I mean, there is little to no technical analysis that we can really do because it was trading inside this uptrending channel, and just right now it is extremely overbought. Even on the weekly time frame, last week Palantir was up 12%. You can see how extremely overbought this stock is, with the RSI and the MACD just exploded parabolically higher to a new all-time high of just shy of $66. So I would be very careful with this stock right now, technically and fundamentally. I mean, this is one of the hottest names in the market, but it's also one of the most expensive and most overbought names in the market right now. So just be very careful of Palantir. I think this is a very good time to be selling some longer dated, out of the money, way out of the money calls to collect a lot of that juicy premium. And any day now, any day we can see some type of a pullback or a correction for Palantir because of how extreme both the valuation and the technicals have become. Now that being said, I'm holding for the long term, so I'm not selling a single share because I'm holding for at least 5 to as many as 10 years to see how Palantir's growth and where it takes them, what kind of market cap we can expect from Palantir. But yeah, support level is going to stay put at $44, $45 for this company. So hope you all enjoyed this video and a complete update on the markets. The upcoming week is going to be very important. We're still in the optimistic zone from a Money US Index standpoint. A lot of stocks are, obviously selling off. From a snapshot, you can see most of them are now in a pullback or a correction or even in a bear market as we see the sell-off continue, more specifically geared towards technology and semis because they were the ones that were kind of leading this rally higher on a very risk-on environment post-Trump winning the election. And from a market calendar standpoint, of course, we got some very important companies reporting next week, especially starting with NVDA. So I will be looking at either selling some more calls, rolling my options, or selling some puts if the stock actually does decline quite a bit. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. You get 2 free months if you pay annually, 2 more spots left, and you get access to all the weekly updates, trade alerts, options portfolio, as well as the Money West website access, all access. Nothing's going to be restricted, and you can lock this price in before we increase in January of 25. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.